So, as you can see, we have... Oh shoot, I gotta change the picture. Because it's just me now. Alright. Gotta put my goofy epic filter. Yeah, it sounds epic. Alright. Unfortunately, while I'm recording, I'm gonna have to turn off my microphone because it's going to pick up like a bunch of noise if I don't. That's what I was gonna do. I gotta change the headphones. There we go. Alright. We just have to come up with some goofy riff now. And that should be pretty simple. Like maybe, I don't know. I'm just gonna do something silly and see if that sounds good. Usually for my riff writing process, I'll unplug my guitar from my direct input. And I'll just play through my amp. So it might sound a little bit goofy now. Yeah, so you have a really raw sound, but that's just how I write my riffs, is I like to do it kind of loud. I still have to record that riff. I may as well do that right now. There we go. Alright, hold up. Who messaged me in this godforsaken app? Literally nobody, okay. Something a little silly real quick. Forgot my stream volume was on. Alright. I just did that. Quite silly if you ask me. I should probably record this before I just get like absorbed in the tone. That's not good. I messed up. What am I gonna do after that? Hold up. So we're gonna go something like. I like that. Hold up. What did I do there? Oh shoot, I already forgot. Alright, maybe that's what I'll do. That'd be silly. Alright, I'm just gonna do what I have, just because I don't want to waste a bunch of time. I definitely just missed that harmonic. Yeah, and I also messed up a good bit. Alright, we're redoing that. I definitely delayed that chug way too much. I gotta redo that whole thing now. That sounds kind of silly. Hold up. Alright, yeah, I think I got it. I do need to remember to do the goofy thing like this. Yeah, alright, I think I remember that. Here we go. Alright, there's the goofy little song. You know, maybe there's a reason that my music stays underground, and that's probably why. You know, this goofy, my goofy writing. Alright, I'm mostly focused on guitar parts right now, because I need something to do on a 4-hour car ride, and programming drums in is something I could do for at least 2 of those hours. So that's good. Then lyrics are also another thing I can do for the other 2 hours after that. Because, you know, after a certain point on the road trip, I lose service because we're going to the Michigan Upper Peninsula. So, you know, it's kind of not really a service-friendly area if you've ever been up there. Bro, this white background is burning my retinas. I can feel it. Get it, guys? Because, like, Beans by Kurt Cobain, that's so funny. It's like a better version of a thing I've already written, which I think could be used. That'll be fun to put tabs out for. Oh boy. I like that. I think I'm gonna record it. I just got flashbanged for like a split second there. I don't know if anybody else just saw that, but that was crazy. Hold on, you can't even see what I'm doing. You didn't just hear like anything from the last 5 minutes or so, so you know. Alright, I gotta record this now. First time. This might be the first time I double a guitar track in a while, just to add like a little lead part. Maybe not. I don't think I need it. No, I don't want another guitar track. I want a bass track this time. I just passed the tone. And I need drums. Then I need a vocal track. And then I'm all set. Work on... I'm gonna rename it after it saves. Jeez, bro. Oh my god. I look like a ghost. Yo. Oh. Jeez, that was a flashbang. BandLab really needs to make the background of the actual site black instead. Oh god, that's horrible. This is a song I made earlier. I have to put a bass on it, so I'll do that real quick. But it's about terrible driving and terrible roads and sidewalks in my city. Specifically sidewalks, not really roads, because I don't care about roads. Cars can drive on dirt, they can drive on anything. The only time the roads are a problem is if they have giant potholes, but they have been replacing things that have no problems with them. The only thing I've been able to back them doing is the sewer work, because that's actually important. And, you know, people need to use the sewer. I have to grab my bass from across the studio. Hold up. That was a peak and a half. Oh boy. Alright, so I don't think I have my cable plugged into the mixer for my bass, so I have to do that also. And then I also have to tune my bass down to drop G sharp, which is really low for a 4-string. Pretty normal for a 5-string. But you know, I don't have the luxury of being able to purchase a new bass anytime soon, so. Luckily though, this bass is good, so I don't have to worry about it. Only thing I have to do is get new strings so it actually has a good sound. Because right now it's kind of, it's its own unique sound pretty much right now. Alright, what does this sound like again? Something like that, hold up. Okay, I had the right idea. Alright, I gotta turn off the mic now. Nothing compares to the freaking Bass King cabinet in BandLab. I swear it works wonders on everything. Like, I use it on this, and that's what gives me, like, this entire tone. Like, if I, here, listen, I'm gonna solo this. It works wonders, and then, I don't know about without the EQ. But the EQ with the freaking Bass King is like wonderful. Oh my goodness, this cabinet is I'm using it for like everything now. It's just beautiful. I really like the drive that this has for the tone. I think I'm going to keep the bass tone like this. I don't need to do anything more to it for the next while, because it seems like it fits in the mix well. The Seattle SP is also pretty good. But the Bass King is like perfect. There's like nothing else I can use now. It's beautiful. Now I do have to record the rest of this though. I forgot to turn off my microphone. That probably picked up like everything. I'm gonna say right now, this Jazz 3 is peak, bro. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if somebody thinks it's too small. It is like the perfect pick. I swear. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with that, and I know some people would. But, like, it's true. It's so tough. It's, like, small and when something's smaller, even if it's thinner, it doesn't really matter because you're still like the surface area of the pick isn't as big to where it's bendable as easily. It's just actually like my favorite pick of all time, to be honest. I'm gonna start using them more, if not primarily. But the Jazz 3 is tough. If you haven't checked out the Jazz 3 high key, you should check it out. Not sponsored. I'm too small of a streamer to have a sponsor. Let alone one from Jim Dunlop. Jeez, I look like a ghost again. I look like Casper right now. I look like Slender Man. Oh, now I don't. Alright. Who's messaging me at this godforsaken time? Nobody's messaging me at this godforsaken hour. Okay. It was just some random notification that I don't know what it was. Well, there's not really much else for me to do right now. I already have lyrics written for this one. I need to write lyrics for this one. I think this is also... Yeah, I need to write lyrics for this one. Yep. Cool. I think this is also the same thing. That is not the same thing. Okay. What is this? Oh, you know what? This is that other thing I was playing. Okay. I know exactly what that is. Well, I don't really have much else to do right now in terms of music. And I also don't really feel like going on Google Maps because I lost my timer because I had to restart my computer. So I don't know what I should do right now. I don't know if I should do something that I don't usually do, or if I should just like end stream or something, because I don't really have much else to stream right now. We can go through my desktop real quick. We got Ben and Ed, we got Terraria, Cry of Fear. I still have to play that, you know what? Resident Evil. That's not really a stream kind of game. That's just a kind of like a personal experience kind of game, necessarily. I don't really feel like Resident Evil is like a good streaming kind of game, you know? Maybe newer Resident Evils like Resident Evil 7 or 8 and 9 that's going to be coming out. But, you know, I don't know. It's not really a kind of game to stream, I feel like, unless I'm playing like a randomizer. We could just goof around in paint.net, because I don't really have anything else to do. Alright. We're going to go up to size 30, and we're going to make a new image that's actually a decent size. You know, I might just make the thumbnail for this VOD right now. So whoever is seeing this on YouTube, the thumbnail you saw before clicking on, if you're still watching after the hour of me doing like dumb things, then this is what you saw before clicking on the video, and this is me making it. I will have to deactivate my video for a minute so I can take a picture in the camera app. Alright. What pose should I hit? Hold up. I gotta break out the guitar for this one. I can't do that because I have to click the button. I also have to put the camera up a little bit. Alright, here we go, here we go. Oh yeah, that's how we do it. Alright, now I gotta open that. Pictures, camera roll. There's just a bunch of pictures of me making stupid faces for the thumbnails. Alright. We gotta cut this out. But first and foremost, we need to get a background. Now I can turn my video back on. There we go. Alright. I don't really need my headphones for thumbnails, so I'm gonna look a little bit better now, because my hair is actually down. With my hair up, I look really bad. Anyway. Background. Ooh, what should I do? What should I do? Quite the decision. For background, I don't know, I already did this thumbnail on my computer background with a BandLab picture, so I don't want to do that again. That's not the right thing that I wanted to do. So BandLab's out of the question. Hold up. Who gave me a notification? Alright, anyway. Should I get a... I should make the background one of my tabs. That'd be pretty neat. The song I worked on for the video. Oh yeah. This is about to be tough. Hear me out. I gotta crop it because it'll take the picture of both of my screens. Queso's live. It's already this late? Oh my god. Alright, I gotta make sure this is 16 to 9. And I need to zoom it in a little bit. Save. Alrighty. Righty-roo. Open. Alright, well now... now I need to stretch this out to be 1080p, which sounds more complicated than it actually is. Stretch it out a little bit past so that way we're safe. And that's beautiful. Alright. Now for the painstaking process of cutting myself out of the picture. Alright. I have to go focus mode, so I'm not going to be looking over for a couple minutes. Why is my hand built like this in this picture, bro? Okay, that may have been good enough. That was like beautiful. Okay. That's about as good as it could have been. Maybe I'll put, hold up. We gotta stretch me out a little bit. Just so it's silly. We gotta get me the accurate real life build, hold up. Where the flip is the other guide point, yo? Oh, that's where it is. Oh, yeah. Okay. Nah, that's not stretched enough. We do have to shrink it down a little bit. And then maybe... Yeah, we gotta get the full body in the picture. There we go. This right here is how you make a real thumbnail. Alright, now we need the text. What font shall I use? Oh, hold up a minute. That is literally the Alice in Chains font. Hold up. I can't use that. That's gonna get me copyrighted. I love this font. It's so silly. Hold on. We need to make it bright red. And then... Okay, that just looks like basic brands now. We do have to shrink the font down. Where's the Mr. Beast font? Hold up. We need to get like some actual clickbait fonts. I can kind of decipher cool, but what is this? Oh my god, it's beautiful. Alright. Nobody's going to be able to read that on the thumbnail, but that's part of the art form. Hear me out. Alright, we need more color in this. Hold up. 72. Certified dingle dongle. Dr. Dingle Genion. No, Dingle Mink. Because that's my friggin' stage name for my band, yo. Dr. Dingle Mink certificate. Alright, I'm Dr. Dingle Mink now. That's tough. Wait, I should make that my freaking actual stage name. Dingle Mink? That's tough. I would use that. Okay, maybe I should have thought before I put freaking text on here. Dr. Dingle Mink certified. And then I need bright red, and I need size 108. Cool music. Nope, it was bigger than that. It was 144, and it was a different font. Size 20, like Deftones. Hold on, I gotta put this in the Deftones font. Hold up. All right. Dr. Dingle Mink. We gotta put this in some silly font. Oh yeah. That is the same letter, just capitalized. It's wingdings. But people know how to read wingdings. God dang it. God darn. Yo. You didn't hear that. There we go. Now we need some of that. Oh yeah, that's tough, yo. Okay. Maybe we make it a little more blue. No, we already have blue in here. We need some orange in here. Maybe I just go through with the paintbrush. Hold on, I do need to add some lower opacity black behind this text. This is the ultimate clickbait method, trust me. And then you have to turn down the opacity a tiny bit. And then you have to turn it down a tiny bit again. Nope, that went up a little bit. Okay, that just completely ruined the gradient. There we go, alright. Now, we just... You can go up to 2,000? Yo. That's kind of wild. Who needs 2,000 size? Dr. Dingle Mink. Hold on, I gotta get a picture of Deftones. This will be so silly. Hold up. Deftones. What the flip, dude? Why is there no pictures of the band? You know, we'll just take the picture from the friggin' Be Quiet and Drive video. Web P to PNG, okay. now, open. We need to acquire this image. Alright, now we need the paintbrush again. If you don't know what's going on, that's good. If you never know what's going on with your thumbnail, that is a very good thing. Oh, my knee hurts, bro. I'm not saying that 5 times fast, by the way. You can say knee hurt 5 times fast, though. Go ahead. I think it's quite goofy. Oopsie. That's not good. I can't correct the mistake. Okay. Here's what it looks like without the text. It just looks silly. Bro, the entire thumbnail is missing without the text. It's so stupid. Alright. Well, it's alright. Dr. Dingle Dongle is not meant to be a perfect person. This is going to be such an overwhelming thumbnail for anybody who's unable to comprehend arrows. Pretty normal thumbnail for me, though. Oh yeah. Full of arrows on the left. Almost can't even tell what's going on. But that's not good enough. We need to not know where you're supposed to look. Dr. Dinglemink. I love that new name. Although I'm going to just keep my regular band stage name as Mink. Because I think Mink is pretty neat. And it also rhymes with twink, so that's nice. If somebody called me Mink the Twink, I'd take it as a compliment. Alright, now, arrow there, arrow going this way, arrow trying to get out. You can't even tell where the arrows are pointing anymore, but that's a good thing. This is going to be my permanent digital footprint. People hiring me for a job are not going to accept me. Not that I'm ever going to be able to acquire a job anyway, but you know. Just have one pointing to the bottom of the screen. Then have one go through this one. Alright, that's gonna be a beautiful thumbnail. This was made on stream while goofing. Oh yeah. This is the best thumbnail I've ever made. I keep making better and better ones every single time. It's so beautiful. Alright. Save as PNG. Epic music thumbnail. All of that in 2 layers is kind of wild. Alright, well, I don't really have much else to do, and I kind of want to watch Queso, because I fuck with Queso, so that's the end of the stream tonight. I'll probably stream tomorrow. Actually, no, I will not be streaming tomorrow, because I'm going to be... Actually, I probably won't be streaming until, like, Monday or Tuesday again, so... You didn't hear that. Nobody heard that. Anyway... Yeah, Monday or Tuesday will be the next stream. I'm not sure which one, but one of those days. If not Monday, definitely Tuesday. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. But still, that's the plan. This is probably one of the shorter streams, but I also didn't have anybody else with me today, so you know. We're going back to the picture, because the picture's tough. I like the picture more than the actual camera. Anyway, yeah. Um, Thank you to anybody who watched the VOD, because nobody watches live because I guess I stream a little bit too late for people's tastes or something. I don't know. But anyway, glad you could make it to the VOD at least. And yeah, remember to goof off in paint.net sometimes. It'll really teach you some stuff. Maybe not how to think intelligently, but it'll teach you some stuff.